Hey guys, I'm Kamen Rider Silver, and we are back again today for, guess what? Another Mondo review. And not just that, we've got two of them. Guys, if this doesn't indicate that I've lost my mind, I don't know what has. I've become that sofubi collector that will just get multiple variants of something. It's where we're at now, and we'll just have to accept it. But these, oh my gosh, guys, these figures are so darn awesome. I'm so excited today to show you these guys and tell you my thoughts on these awesome Mondo figures. These are the Mondo Toys Godzilla X Kong Godzilla Evolved Sofubis. So let's take a closer look at the box first. So before we dive into those awesome figures, let's look at the box. The box is the same across all variants, as Mondo tends to do. So we'll only look at the first box. You've got this cool simplified art of Godzilla Evolved. It says Godzilla, soft vinyl figure, Mondo Legendary. You've got the little sparkly Mondo sticker down here. And then you've got like some pyramids in the back. And yeah, it's a really nice picture. And then turning it to the side, you've got Godzilla again right there. You've got a... Man, this box is huge. You've got a forward shot of Godzilla right there. Turning it around. That same picture of Godzilla with the credits of the artists. Thank you to these artists. And then you've got on top Godzilla X Kong. And you've got the Godzilla figure, and you've got the Kong sculpt, which I don't have any of these yet, but we'll talk more about that soon. So that is the box. And here are the figures. So we have two variants of Godzilla Evolved. One is the San Diego Comic-Con Cherry Blossom version, which wasn't exclusive to San Diego Comic-Con, but they released it at the same time, so it's the SDCC version. And then we have the final version of this sculpt, which is the Hollow Earth Psychedelic Colorway. I originally had just pre-ordered this figure. I hadn't ordered any of the other variants. I was kind of waiting to see how they looked, but then I figured there's one variant left, I will get it now, and it was this version, which is absolutely beautiful. But as these figures started to ship, I started to see people get the Cherry Blossom version in hand, and I love Cherry Blossom variants, so I said, I need to get this. Somebody on Facebook had one for retail price that they just wanted to get rid of, and I instantly picked him up. Guys, if you're trying to save your money and not fall into the sofubi trap, don't go on the Facebook pages, because as soon as these figures release, there's people who automatically want to sell them off, and there's amazing prices, so don't go on there. For the purpose of reviewing these, we're first going to take a look at the Hollow Earth variant, because I feel like you can see the sculpt a little bit better, and then we'll take a closer look at the Cherry Blossom variant. So here is what Mondo is calling the Hollow Earth variant. I apologize for the camera quality if it looks a little bit lower. Because these figures are so large, I had to use the zoom out feature on my iPhone, so it dips the quality a little bit. But for closer shots, I will use regular. This is the final colorway of the Godzilla Evolved and King Kong set. With all of these Godzillas, there was a Kong counterpart. I don't have any of the Kongs, but I will talk a little bit later about which one I think I'm going to get. Look at this sculpt. Here, I'll zoom in finally now. This, from head to toe, is just an absolute beauty of a sculpt. This figure was sculpted by Hector, who is the senior creative director of Mondo. Sometimes he sculpts figures, sometimes other people sculpt figures, but you can definitely tell this is one of his, just from the style. It's so darn beautiful. Everything about this is Godzilla Evolved, but in an exaggerated style. You've got all his spines up here, everything very sharp, the arm, little spikes that grow after he absorbs Tiamat's energy. Just amazing sculpting all over. You can really see the scales and the gills up here. The hands are really, really nicely sculpted. You've got some broader details over here. Those legs, I absolutely love the armor plating on these legs. Of course, the dorsal plates, sculpted very, very nicely. Godzilla Evolved's got those larger dorsal plates. Then the tail, the segmented tail right here, looks great. And then, of course, Godzilla Evolved's iconic Thagomizer that he has here at the end. I still don't know how I feel about him having this. It kind of feels like they just slapped it on Godzilla, but you know, Godzilla has always been described as, you know, part Stegosaurus, part T-Rex kind of. So it makes sense. Taking a look at those feet, those stompers. Absolutely beautifully sculpted. The chest. That front view of Godzilla is really, really nice. Wow. There's a lot of kind of separate pieces on this figure that you can tell that kind of assembled him. These spines and the dorsal plates all seem like they were put in later. The head looks like it could be articulated. I guess we'll go over the articulation while we're here. Head looks like it could be articulated, but it's not. Arms swivel all the way around. Hands articulate, and in typical Mondo fashion, the hands are asymmetrical, which is nice. They're not the same sculpt twice. The legs move, so you can kind of get him in a running pose, which is awesome. And then the tail swivels right here. So there's some really pretty darn good articulation on this guy. It's just so cool. Now, the Hollow Earth variant is blue, primarily a blue, with his pink spines and a little bit more of a purple gradient on them. So that is super duper cool. And then coming to the front, there's some green highlights, some green accents to break up that blue sculpt. And then you've got a pink tongue and silver teeth and a red eye. That is so darn cool. And that is the Hollow Earth variant. Now, taking a look at the Cherry Blossom variant, of course, this is the exact same sculpt, but I did want to point out one thing, which is interesting. You know, most figures these days are prototyped in 3D printing, 3D sculpting, all of that. I noticed a little bit more prominent artifacts of the 3D printing on the Cherry Blossom variant. I might be the only one who can see this, but I can see some layer lines, which don't bug me in the slightest. But it's just interesting. You can tell these days that 3D printing is standard in the action figure making industry. So I always like searching for 3D printed artifacts on these figures. The Cherry Blossom variant, to me, feels different than the Hollow Earth one. It feels a little bit more sofubi. I've always felt that the Mondo figures feel a little bit thick to the point where I'm like, are these soft vinyl? And when you move their joints around, you can hear the soft vinyl kind of creak. But they've always felt in person a little bit thick. For some reason, the Cherry Blossom variant feels very much sofubi. So I was pleasantly surprised when I opened it. He's got that Cherry Blossom, of course, all around on a glow-in-the-dark base figure, which I will show in a little bit. But you've got that pink that is just, it's like candy. It's beautiful. And you've got gold on the nails, gold on the teeth, gold on the eye, gold on the feet. And along with that, you've got greens. So the dorsal plates are in kind of a translucent green plastic with gold accents on their tips. right here, down here in the Thagomizer, I've got like a little dark spot in there. I don't know if there's like a fly trapped in there from the production, but I thought that was interesting. Then you've got some more gold up front, and you can see on the bottom that glow in the dark plastic. So let's try out that glow in the dark feature. I've got my trusty blacklight here, and we'll just kind of paint on some glow. All right. Bam. He's glowing in the dark. A common complaint with Mondo figures is that their glow isn't the strongest in the world. And I gotta say, in person, it's not the strongest glow, but this also isn't the strongest black light. But still, it does glow in the dark, which is absolutely awesome. And that is the Cherry Blossom variant. I just knew when I saw in-hand pictures of this, I just knew I needed it. So I'm so happy to have it. Scaling these figures up, they are huge. That stands at about 11 inches on both of them. Absolutely large figures. These Mondo figures keep getting larger. As a comparison, here is the Mondo Toys Godzilla from the All Monsters Attack 3-pack. He's tiny compared to them. I was thinking that they were going to be about this size, so that's why I was a little bit apprehensive of the price. But look at this. Just look at this. Not just height, but just sheer size. It's insane. It's insane how large these figures are. Bringing in another large Mondo figure. Here is the Urban Aztec Godzilla. And even then you can see these Godzilla Evolves tower any of the other Mondo figures. I think the only figure that's going to beat them coming up is the Urban Aztec Ghidorah. But besides that, I think these are currently the largest Mondo Godzilla figures. Mondo, you can tap out here. You can stop at this size. When I got these figures, I cleared out an entire new shelf for them, and it still wasn't large enough. I had to knock the shelf down 2 more pegs to fit these figures. These figures, though, are really darn special. We don't have a lot of MonsterVerse Godzilla sofubi. We've got the Spiral Studio ones. We have a few Bandai Movie Monster series. But for the most part, we don't have really stylized figures like this. And not ones that are readily available. You can still get this Hollow Earth variant and the re-energized blue variant on Mondo Shop right now. Why I chose these variants is because of their really bold colors. I think when it comes to Kong, I'm going to try to get the normal movie colored version. I feel like Kong, he needs to be in those earth tones. Not that his colorful counterparts aren't cool, but for me personally, I feel like, at least for my first big Kong sofubi, I'd like to have him in normal colors. But for Godzilla, I really think I'm going to stick to these very colorful colorways. They're already exaggerated type sculpts, so why not get an exaggerated colorway? I really do like this All Monsters Attack Godzilla, but I do wish that I had a colorful variant of him. And I still could get it, but at the time I was just thinking, oh, I'll get your basic plain one. But how fun are these super colorful variants? They are just so darn spectacular. One more comparison. Here is the Godzilla Evolves from Mondo next to Godzilla Evolved Bandai Movie Monster Series Theater Edition. This is, it's so funny holding this in person now. It's so long and skinny, where these Mondos are so darn chunky. But this is kind of a cool comparison. Some fun colored figures of Godzilla Evolved. The fact that I have both of these figures definitely means that the sofubi bug has bitten me. I don't even care anymore that my channel is all Mondo figures. It'll be other stuff at some point, but right now I am just absolutely obsessed with these Mondo sculpts. I hope to get that Kong sooner than later, and then I will do a comparison video with those. But guys, if you like Godzilla Evolved and if you like Sofubis, I would jump on these right now. We've seen how legendary Godzilla Sofubis become pretty rare in the future because we don't have too many of them. So I would definitely recommend getting this Hollow Earth version. I absolutely love it, and it's still in stock, so if you can get that, get that. If you can get one of the previous variants that's already come out on Facebook or something like that for a good price, I would also get them. I don't think there's a bad one in the bunch, and if I could, I would have all of them. But for right now, these are the two that will sit in my collection forever. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!